All right. Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul, joined by Robert Ziggy Ziegler, back home in Boston. You're finally back home, right, Ziggy?
Yes, sir.
It's pretty funny. We barely even said hello before starting this thing up. It was just like Ziggy was on. I was like, "You ready to go?" So this is really me seeing Ziggy back in America for the first time since you've arrived. You just got back from Japan, right?
Yeah, it's I explored the Cambodia connection. I had a quick layover in Japan, talked to some people. Now I'm back in the US.
That's hysterical. Well, good. Glad you're back safe. As much as I enjoyed your side story in Cambodia, I feel like it's a little easier for you being back being back home doing these shows. So we
Yeah, it's
appreciate
it's
your
nice to
effort.
not have a 12-hour time difference.
Yeah, that is a nice benefit. So breaking news, of course, during an unbelievable Bills Broncos game, which of course it's just been that kind of football season. You guys all know at least how I don't know about Ziggy, how I feel about the Denver Broncos because of Sean Payton. I was so ready, man. I was ready to come out here and tweet. Sean Payton extends his Super Bowl drought to 17 seasons without placing a bounty on the opposing quarterback. I was ready to just go all after the Denver Broncos, but you sometimes forget the Buffalo Bills are a cursed franchise, and a couple things don't go their way. I know Ziggy, you're upset with some of the receiving performances toward the end of the game. We disagree a little bit there, but during an unbelievable Bills game, I get a text from my mother, Ziggy, that goes, "Hey, did you see the news? Andy's recording. Looks like LaFleur is back." It's like, oh my god, my mom is breaking news to me
Does
now.
your mom like Andy more than she likes us? I think she
I
might.
don't. I actually have no idea how she saw that. I didn't even think of that till now. But somehow my mom was tapped in. My mom's, I guess, now tapped into the pack. This is the danger of what this show is doing. We report so much on the Packers. We report a lot on the Bears and Lions, right? That now I'm pushing this content on my family to where they're now following the other NFC North teams just as much, if not more than the Vikings. It's a dangerous world when you're in this space.
Yeah, but it is just a great decision to go to Pack a Day podcast on YouTube, click subscribe, and check in on Andy Herman's lives. Like that is, if you're gonna follow a Packers show, that is the show to follow.
So I could not agree more. So the big news, though, is that the Packers extend Matt LaFleur. I don't think the numbers or the years have come out yet. And
What has come out
oh,
is
has it?
that this isn't like a so the firm numbers haven't come out, but this is not a extension that's like a prove it deal where it's a couple years tacked on that they can easily cut. This is a commitment to him coming back multiple years. And interestingly, in this new arrangement, both LaFleur and Gutekunst will report directly to Ed Policy.
Got it. Okay. So I guess we'll have to see what the exact numbers are. My guess is that the dollar amount comes out to somewhere in that like 14 to 16 million dollar range. That's what it seemed like it was going to be. That would be a little bit more, right? Ben Johnson got 13 million per year for 5 years.
Oh no, John Harbaugh's getting
Well,
20.
he's getting 20. Liam Cohen got 12 per year last season. So I'm guessing my guess is it comes in at about 16. That's where I'm guessing. That would put him at tied for fourth with Jim Harbaugh. So that's my guess if I had to pick at the moment. But it's still, Matt LaFleur is going to be getting a pretty heavy payday. It's all guaranteed. At least that's the industry standard with coaches. So you expect to see that. We'll get right to it because I'm not sure how you feel yet. So I think this was the right move for Green Bay. And I know a lot of Packers fans are going to be really upset with this because the reaction after the Bears wildcard game, I thought it would have taken a complete travesty for my opinion on whether or not LaFleur should come back to change going into that game. And it was a complete travesty. And when it ended, remember I told you guys 24-hour rule, 48-hour rule, just kind of relax a bit. And after that, I thought, okay, you know what? I'd probably bring him back. Most Packer fans did not get over it in 2 days. They want him gone. And when I saw that reaction from the fan base, I was thinking we might actually see something like the Cardinals where the fans pretty much push the coach out and that you're just, you have to do it because the fan base is going to revolt. That's not how the Packers operate. That's not how the Steelers operate, right? They like to keep things consistent when they can and they don't act irrationally. So bringing back, and so they took their time, right? Obviously, they thought this through, and they're bringing LaFleur back. I think it's a good move. Do you, Ziggy? Because I know you seemed to be in the camp of fire him a couple days ago.
We'll have to see a little bit more as things come out what changes are going to happen in the Packers organization. But Ed Policy, as the effective, like as the manager of this team, right? The
Yep.
Packers don't have an owner. He's the guy in charge. That requires making the tough decisions that nobody else wants to make. And Packers fans were saying that as an excuse or a reason why he should fire LaFleur because that's the tough decision.
Yeah.
But I actually think bringing him back is the harder choice here because, as you said, this is what the fan base wants. This is where the momentum is.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you there. It actually might not have been what the fan base truly wanted. It may have been sort of like politics, right? When you have the minority are the loud ones, the ones that you see all the information. Like that's kind of what it seemed like with the Packers. Because some big Packer guy put out a poll on whether or not you want LaFleur back, and most people said yes. And I think Andy actually retweeted and was like, "See, this is what happens when you have the minority voices, the big voices, right on Twitter. They're all out here, they're furious, and it seems like the whole fan base wants him gone." I mean, I fell victim to it because even in our poll right here, 70% of people seem to be happy with this.
Yeah, it's difficult to know exactly what the fan base wanted. Certainly, there were a lot of people pushing for him gone, even if who knows exactly what the numbers were. Things have got to be different next year. And I don't know exactly how that's going to happen or what it's going to look like. I think if the Packers' decision was, well, a bunch of guys were hurt when they come back, we're going to be good next year. There's nothing to worry about. If that's what they were thinking, I don't think this was a good decision because, as we talked about in our reaction, the meltdown against the Bears showcased a lot of the issues that they've had throughout the entire Matt LaFleur tenure.
Yeah.
Now, if things can be different, there are a lot of things that are good about him as coach, and especially with Harbaugh out, I'm not sure there were better options. But if it's another year of we got to look at the tape, that's on me. I was a little bit too conservative. I was a little bit too aggressive. The play calling didn't work. We're gonna have to go back and look at things again. If it's another year of a big losing streak to end the season, if it's another year of the 7th seed of no chance of winning the division, that's just not gonna work.
So okay, I totally agree with you. I'm not saying Packers fans should come out here, lighting fireworks on the streets in Green Bay. I don't know what the temperature is. You probably don't want to go outside in Green Bay right now anyway. I'm not saying that they should be throwing parties that LaFleur got extended. What I am saying, and I think XX Zeppelin right here in the comments section actually made a pretty good point. The Packers roster is ready to win now. And any Packers fan listening, I just want you to ask yourself the question: do you think if Micah and Devontae Wyatt and Tucker Kraft and Elton Jenkins, if all of them stayed healthy, do you think you were truly a Super Bowl roster this year? Do you think you could have won the Super Bowl? And the answer to that question is yes. When Green Bay was on this year, they looked like a Super Bowl team. I mean, they looked like arguably, the best team in football at times. And part of the problem during the LaFleur era is the inconsistency, right? It is the up and down. But with LaFleur, you do have a Super Bowl ceiling, and you have a coach who wins a lot of football games. You're always relevant. You're always in the discussion. And it's not like the Steelers, where the Steelers, the Steelers are dead. The Packers are a legitimate threat. And this year, it was injuries that derailed the year. They didn't win a game after Micah got hurt. So when I sit back and I'm watching this as a Viking fan, my thought is, yeah, I'd love to see him fired. I love a little chaos. The players love him. Micah, Love, Jacobs, they're all talking about him like he's the best thing since sliced bread. It's like the Steelers players talking about Tomlin. I would love for you to get rid of him and run the chance of making the wrong hire, because then it could fall apart kind of quick. But bringing back LaFleur, again, you do get the certain floor, and the ceiling is pretty damn high. But yeah, you're right, Ziggy. Now there is the unknown of what are the changes going to be, because they do need to make changes. And if they don't, it probably will have a similar result where they botch something late.
Well, yeah, the Packers are in an interesting spot here. The goal next year is obviously Super Bowl. And it's very rare for a coach to come in for their first year with the team and immediately win a Super Bowl. I know George Seifert did it with the 49ers. I'm not sure if anybody else did. It's also super rare for guys who have been on the job for a bunch of years to go and win a Super Bowl either. I know Andy Reid did. I think Bill Cowher did. I'm not sure if anyone else has been around for like 5 or 6 plus years and then gone on to win a Super Bowl. But the formula that Packers are doing here, they didn't have a lot of options that historically lead to you winning the Super Bowl. So it's tough.
An interesting stat that I need to double check it, but we were saying it a lot on Nick's show. I'm pretty sure that no quarterback coach duo after year 5 has won a Super Bowl. Their first Super Bowl together. And
because Andy Reid, they brought in Mahomes.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. Pass. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pat,
I'm
quarterback
trying to
and
think
coach.
through coaches that took a long time. Who did they bring in the late Bill Cowher years? I guess they brought in.
The end of Bill Cowher was
Yeah.
Roethlisberger,
Yeah, so they
but
brought
they
in
won.
Roethlisberger for that.
But it was
If
within the
anybody
first.
knows other quarterback, like other head coaches that have won a Super Bowl after a long time, also your camera just gave out, Paul.
Oh, did it? Let me add that in. But no, it's Cowher and Roethlisberger. It's the quarterback coach duo, is what I'm saying. Hold on,
Yeah,
let me
no,
reset that.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just thinking through and the ones that it's been like there's been a quarterback change that's come near the end. I'm not totally sure. I mean, you can't always look at these sort of historical records, right? Nobody here, I hope, is really suggesting that if the Packers brought in like Malik Willis to go and play for the Super Bowl next year, that this would be the shakeup that they need. But ultimately, it's tough for me to believe going into this year that things are going to be different, given that we've seen the same thing over and over again with Matt LaFleur. I mean, this is what I talked about during our reaction. And when you're running things back, the reason that these quarterback coach duos, it's been a quarterback change near the end that's shaken things up and helped them get a Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
is it's meant that something is different. And Green Bay is saying, even with, I mean, yeah, you can replace your special teams coordinator if you want. I hope they do, I suppose. But like, they're saying that things can be basically the same and the results will be different. And with it being more or less a straight downward trend since Aaron Rodgers, like the first year of Rodgers, I'm not sure that's true.
No, I understand why fans might be upset as Seattle is just pounding the 49ers. I'm sorry, Ziggy. I know you like your 49ers. It's just too many injuries. There's just too many injuries for
The game's not over yet, Paul.
them. Come on, man. But yeah, so that was just the stat that we were talking about with Nick. It's like with Josh Allen, McDermott, right? They're well past year 5. Harbaugh and Lamar well past year 5. Zach
And you
Taylor and
kept
Burrow
seeing
now.
you've seen the same things from the Bills. You were seeing the same things from the Ravens, which is why they moved on. I don't know.
No, I mean, look, you can argue it. This is not a decision where if they had fired LaFleur, I would have come out here and been like, it's like as a Viking fan, I want to come out and been like, yes, did it. I would have been okay. I hope they botched this hire. It could have gone both ways, but I just don't. I don't think there's anything terrible about locking down a guy that most of the league would want if you fired him. Most of the league would want. He wins a lot with you, and you do have. I mean, right, a couple of years ago, took a team that was really struggling when Love got hot. They go to the divisional round. It's not his fault that they're missing some of these kicks. That's maybe part of his fault is that we're not making changes with the special teams coordinator. Like during the season, right? The Rams did that this year. Like they made a big move. And they kept Bisaccia the whole time and it wound up costing them as the year went on.
Well, I'll tell you what's puzzling about this to me, Paul, is I know Ed Policy has said he typically doesn't like having high level guys, head coaches, GMs on the last year of their deal.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were looking to put some pressure on Matt LaFleur to change things up and see how it goes, this was actually a very good opportunity to do it. You still had him under contract. You could tell him credibly, look, it's not like you have to win a Super Bowl next year, but we want to see things be a little bit different. And if you can change things up and get better results, we'll sign you to a big extension, no problem. But it's not like they absolutely had to extend him. Like Matt LaFleur is not a quarterback who can say, well, I'm just not going to coach for you guys next year if you don't give me an extension. I'm going to put in a trade request. Like that's not how things work for head coaches. If you have 1 year left on the deal, you can coach.
Yeah, but didn't Policy come out and he's saying I don't want quarterback or coaches having that lame duck year.
Well, yeah, he said that. That's typically true, but I think that he also said there are exceptions. There can be unusual cases where I think it makes sense. And I think this was one of those cases.
Yeah, but you don't want that looming over. It was either LaFleur was going to get extended or you're going to let him go this offseason. Like that to me was the two options.
Why?
It's because you're a team trying to win the Super Bowl. You don't want that looming over your head. That'll be a discussion every single
week. But this
week.
is the problem. It's going to loom over their head anyway if they get the 7th seed and have a first round exit.
Well, yeah, but that's very different from in week 5, right? When things are if things aren't going so hot and they need to turn it around and LaFleur's up there with and they're saying, do you think you're going to get fired? That's a distracting thing for a team.
I'll tell you, if they start 1-4, he's going to get exactly the same question.
Well, I mean, he probably will, but I'm just saying it would be a question all offseason. It's just something that you don't want to have to deal with. When you're a team that has Super Bowl aspirations, you want minimal distractions, and that would be, as big a distraction as you could have, other than maybe a quarterback controversy. So that's why I think it had to go one of two ways, and I mean, clearly they like him, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't be back. But I'm just looking here. I know that Packers fans are frustrated at being 10-7. Like, the other side of things it's not always greener on the other side. I mean, I was thinking this weekend as a Viking fan, do you know how many times in my lifetime, Ziggy? Let's say during my lifetime where I could really process things. How many times the Vikings have gone to the playoffs back-to-back years?
Is the number 0?
One time. 2008 and 2009. Now, obviously, 2009 was unbelievable. 2008 was Tavares Jackson, the Vikings getting, dog walked by the Eagles in the wild card round. But one time in my life, we've made conference championships, and the next year we missed the playoffs. It sucks. I've never seen the Vikings go back to the playoffs. It's always a disappointing year. Like 13 wins to 7, 12 wins to 6, 10 to 5, 13 to 8. It's just, when there is something to be said about the consistency, and someone in the comment section did say, hey, if they were to fire LaFleur, the team's too talented where they wouldn't win a lot of games. That's probably true. It probably is.
A bad coaching can do a lot of damage to your team.
But yeah, if you really botch it, it could get really bad really quick.
Like, every Packers fan should be willing to admit that Matt LaFleur, at least in the regular season, is an above average coach, right? This shouldn't be super controversial. Even if you think he's got problems, even if you think they should have moved on, he's probably an above average coach. Multiple years, he's come very close to missing the playoffs with this roster. If you replace him with a below average coach, I think they probably have missed the playoffs 3 years in a row.
I am loving, though, the reactions, because yes, I think they made the right move. Obviously, you can disagree. There's no problem with that at all. I love seeing some of the Packers fans are just furious here. And then we got John Frank as a Bears fan. Thank you, in all caps. Like, the reactions are all over the map. But I think they made the right move. How hard are you rooting against the Bears tomorrow, by the way?
I don't care.
You don't care?
Are out of the Vikings are out of it.
Oh,
Chicago's
dude.
a fun story, I suppose. I've liked watching them play for a lot of the year.
Yeah. So I had a wake up moment with them.
Here's the thing: it's not the Super Bowl.
No, but this is okay, Ziggy. This is where I can help you in your fandom, because you're still pretty young in your fan. What are you, like 3-4 years into your Viking fandom? You haven't experienced all the heartbreak. I mean, you have a lot to learn here.
The Bears, they can't break my heart.
No, listen to this though. Today I'm driving around today, and I was just thinking, like, oh gosh, like if the Bears win, how would that look? How would we want to do the show? Right, we'll have a live reaction. Like, how do we want to play that? How do we want to play it after their game? And then I was like, oh my God, like if they actually win, they're a game away from the Super Bowl. And then I started spiraling down that rabbit hole, and it was kind of similar to Green Bay with Love when they were ascending in 2023, where I was like going, oh my gosh, it's good for the channel, but if they beat San Francisco here, like they could get there. I started thinking about that with Caleb and Ben Johnson today, like, oh, they just can't win before us. Like they just can't. Not with the way I love our Bears friends, right? Our Bears fans who are good friends. We have a lot of them. Weston Dell, we talk about them all the time. I just couldn't live with Weston and our buddy, all of them calling us up, bear down. I couldn't do it. So I need the Rams to win tomorrow. Like, I just need them to win. And I think you'll get there too. When you really think about it, it would be a disaster if the Bears won this football game. A pure disaster. I love that,
agree.
And for the Bears fans in here, you certainly have a chance. I mean, you're at home, right? Like, it's going to be bad weather. They're a very fun story, and they're very entertaining to watch. It's sort of, I'm a Devils fan, and we don't talk about hockey ever on this show, but during the NHL playoffs, a couple of years ago when the Rangers were really good, I wasn't rooting for them, but with every round they advanced, it was like, okay, I'm still into the hockey playoffs, where Jack is actively rooting for his rivals once the Steelers are eliminated, which is just insanity. But there is a degree of when your rivals are in, you're still paying attention because you have someone to actively root against. And I have that with Chicago right now. The problem is, if they win this game, it's like, oh, they could actually do this thing here.
What's funny is, like, Bears fans think that I hate the Bears, that I'm the Bears hater on this show. I'd be totally fine with them winning.
Oh,
And
you
you're
would
going
be
to get a
much
bunch
more.
of credit for like, Paul, thanks for being objective, thanks for being unbiased, thanks for not hating on the Bears. When you're like preying on their downfall.
Well, I didn't hate on them. I said they were really good, or I said Caleb was really good. And so the defense has some flaws, but I think Ben Johnson's a genius. I think their offense with Caleb and the growth. I have been supportive of Chicago, but I think all Bears fans who are listening to this will understand. I don't want to see them win. Now, if they lose, I'm not going to come on here and be an asshole and be like, rubbing it in their face. We'll react to it accordingly and break down what happened. But yeah, like I don't want the Bears to win. I don't want the Packers to win. I don't want the Saints to win. I don't want the Broncos and I don't want Sean Payton to win. I don't care about the Broncos.
Yeah, but I don't care about like Bo Nix and Marvin Mims. Whatever.
No, it's a Sean Payton problem. They can't win. So whoever needs to get I actually think I would root for the Bears before I root for the Broncos, amazingly.
I would.
Yeah, that's how deep my hatred of the 09 Saints go. Jeez. All right, so how was Cambodia? It was fun. Angkor Wat?
I've thoroughly investigated the Packers connection. You know what I can say about the fall of the Khmer Empire is they stuck around with a king that was having some performance issues on the battlefield. That's all I'm saying. This contributed rapidly to their downfall and retreat from Angkor. There was a succession debate. They're like, should we go to this new guy who's a little bit more competent, mix things up a little bit, or should we stick with the guy who keeps receding territory to our rivals? I'm just saying, I'm seeing in real time the reenactment of the fall of the Khmer Empire in the Green Bay Packers. I'm glad I went out and studied this because this is just unreal.
Hey, look, I won't be complaining. If Green Bay, if they fall apart a little bit, I'm not going to be the one complaining. But I don't think they will with LaFleur. What's the weather going to be? It's supposed to snow tomorrow in Chicago. Right?
In Chicago? It's
doesn't look crazy.
Well, see, there's a ground stop at O'Hare right now. But it's mostly going to be absolutely freezing, right? Like it'll be potentially below zero. There will be wind. Like it's going to be. There's a chance it will be sub-zero with 15 to 20 mile an hour winds.
Sub-zero, 15, 20 mile per hour winds.
So if you're Matthew Stafford and you're used to your big dome, you're used to nice sunny LA. I know he played in Detroit for a few years, but it's been a while.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Look, I'm just saying it is.
Go on.
It's tough to go somewhere where it's absolutely freezing and get the crap beat out of you. Like,
yeah, I mean, but it goes both ways.
Hard.
Like, Caleb's dealing with that too. It's Caleb and Stafford's played in probably more cold weather games. Absolutely has played in more cold weather games than Caleb has.
Well, Matthew Stafford's from sunny Tampa, Florida, and Caleb Williams is from frigid Washington, D.C. So I think Caleb Williams has.
Caleb Williams is playing college ball at USC. It's like sunshine and palm trees and bikini models with what's his face? Who was their coach? Who canceled the series? No, not Lane Kiffin. Who canceled the series?
I don't know why I called him Lane Kiffin.
Well, why can't I remember his
Lincoln
name?
Riley.
Lincoln Riley, yeah. There we go.
I don't know how I got those two names confused.
Yeah, is the stream going okay still? Or
it's live.
Okay, good.
Whether anyone wants to listen to us talk about where Caleb Williams played college ball is a different question. But
well, I mean, look, this is the big benefit for guys like Stafford and guys like Caleb is big arms like that, right? Talented arms. You got when it's 15, 20 mile per hour winds, you got to be able to rip it. And both these guys can do that. I mean, Caleb's been unbelievable. And I saw, Nick came out and actually said if Stafford were to retire, he thinks Caleb would be the best quarterback in the NFC going into next season, which I think, all due respect to Nick, I think it's a ridiculous take.
But I think it's not ridiculous to say that might be true by the end of next season.
Oh, by the end of next season, yes, but not going into the year.
Well, so, let's think. So we've got everybody's forgotten about Jaden Daniels because he was hurt all year.
But
I'm
also
trying to think through who the competitors could be. Dak Prescott, I guess, Jordan Love.
Well, I guess let's say this. If you wanted to win the Super Bowl, obviously you do, to win the Super Bowl next year, what NFC quarterbacks are you taking over Caleb Williams? We'll just run through it real quick. Will you take Dak?
At age 33, no.
Jackson Dart?
No.
Hurts?
No.
Jaden Daniels?
Yes.
Because I would say no on Jaden Daniels. I think I might. Yeah, I'd say no on Jaden just because I'm worried about the injuries again. So
Yeah,
okay,
I'm willing to bet on the injuries going down a little bit. I know that there's injury concerns, there's some accuracy concerns, but he was so strong his first year. I'm willing to look over this a little bit.
okay. So I take Caleb. Dak is closer. I think Dak is
Dak is old and getting older. I think his best days are
okay. So
maybe
so then
behind him.
look. I guess right now I take Caleb over all of them. Stafford's gone, so forget about the Rams. Forget about the Cardinals. Kyler, you take him over Kyler. Darnold.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, wait, you would take Darnold or you take Caleb?
I'd probably take Caleb Williams.
I think I would too. And Purdy, I'd take Caleb over over
I'll take
Purdy.
Brock Purdy. Thank you
Oh,
very much.
I know you would take Purdy. In the South, I'm taking him over Baker. I take him over Bryce. I take him over Kirk or Penix, whoever you want to fill in there.
Yeah, he owns the South.
Yeah, forget about the South, and then it's the North. So you take Caleb, you take him over McCarthy, and then do you take him over Goff or Love?
I mean, he just won the division.
I mean, I'd take Love. I would take Jordan Love.
I would also probably take Jordan Love. You could definitely talk me into Jared Goff. But look, it's Caleb. Here's the point, I think.
That's crazy. I guess he's top 3.
Caleb Williams does not need to improve a lot to be the best quarterback in the NFC next year. And if he improves as much next year, right, from start to end, as he improved from start to end this year, that could be really scary.
Oh, he going into next year, he has the chance to emerge as the scariest threat in the NFC, quarterback wise. Absolutely. Yeah, I'd probably put him at 3. I'd put Love for sure ahead of him. I think I'd have Goff right behind him actually, and then maybe Dak. I don't know. Wow, he actually could be 2. Oh my gosh. We're gonna have Love. We're gonna have the number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks in the NFC if Stafford were to
And
retire.
arguably number 3.
And arguably number 3. Yeah, and arguably number 3.
And we have
16. Nothing. Oh gosh.
We have number 16. And I don't know about you. I'm very nervous seeing Brian Flores interview for defensive coordinator jobs elsewhere.
Yeah,
I don't. Taking an interview of the Commanders for a defensive coordinator job has me very nervous that he just wants to leave. I was like, Dan Quinn is a defensive-minded head coach too. Like, why would you leave the Vikings to go to the Commanders on defense?
Well, something. I know that a couple Vikings guys were debating yesterday if something internally is wrong there, and it makes you think maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to just get some leverage, more leverage on the Vikings to give him an even bigger deal. But it's not good. If we lose Flores, I know they want to promote Jones, the defensive backs coach, who a lot of guys like. But there's a chance that if they wait too long on Flores, that Jones leaves. And
Geronte Jones has been interviewing for a bunch of defensive coordinator jobs too. We could lose both of them.
Well, you got to lock down Flores so you could get Jones in case he does leave, you could get Jones. It's not good. It's not a good situation to be in Minnesota right now.
If our defense is anything other than like elite, this could be the most painful stretch of Vikings football of our life.
I saw some Packers fans were like, "Oh, if Halfley leaves, could we? If they poached Brian Flores, I'd be sick to my stomach. Like that would be that would be so infuriating if Green Bay poached Flores. I just don't think that would happen. If Flores isn't going to be a head coach, I'd put it 95% chance he stays with the Vikings.
I just have a hard time believing that he wants to leave when he's got all the pieces he likes. He clearly has a good relationship with Kevin O'Connell. But, if he thinks that being a coordinator for a Super Bowl winning defense will help him out, and I think that is the sort of thing that can help launch him to a job, going to Green Bay might be better for his career than sticking in Minnesota, right? He's reached the ceiling for what he can do in Minnesota, have an elite defense, and maybe barely make the playoffs. If Green Bay had the level of defense Minnesota did this year, they would have won 14 games, been the 1 seed. They couldn't have lost to the Bears because they have a bye.
Yeah, if you gave Brian Flores Micah Parsons, disgusting things would happen on the football field. He's unbelievable. I remember when they
obscene act.
Yeah. When they hired Flores, I remember being just so pumped, and it's gone pretty much exactly the way I expected it would. It would be detrimental if he left here. Wait, what's this Bo Nix?
Are we getting baited?
I don't know. I'm seeing this right here. Hold on, I'm Googling it.
Oh yeah, no. Bo Nix fractured bone in his right ankle. Season is over.
Bo Nix fractured his ankle?
Season's over for the Denver
What?
Broncos.
Wait, seriously?
That's just in from Troy Rank, columnist at the Denver Post.
I hold on. I need to look that up. That can't possibly. He looked fine. This stream/show is player hater central. It's not play.
Who are we hating?
I don't think we're hating on anyone.
Who are we hating? See, this is the thing is like if you say one player is good and another player is bad, people will say
no. This was a problem. Our good buddy Noah is a huge Seahawks fan, and we went to a basketball game today, and on the way back, Noah heard me talking about the Seahawks. I ranked them as the 4th contender in the NFC. He's like, I know you hate the Seahawks, Paul. I was like, whoa. I just put you behind the Rams. Like, I think you could go and win the Super Bowl. I said you're one of the only 4 teams that can win it. And it's just, if you're not talking extremely positively, it's a disaster. All right, wait, hold on. Let's see this Bo Nix. I still don't see anything.
No, it just came out, but I read it from the Denver Post, which is legit. He's out for the year.
Breaking Bo Nix undergo. Oh, wait, is this Schefter? Broncos quarterback Bo Nix suffered a season-ending broken bone in his ankle during today's overtime victory over Buffalo.
Oh, so you'll trust it when Schefter tweets it out, but not the beat guys. Okay.
Well, I just wanted to see it with my eyes first. I just wanted to see the report. There's like, no, I'm not even going to get into what I was about to say.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about Jack in the group chat.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
I would just say, imagine if you were in the Paul Farrington Show group chat. It's Paul, Jack, Ziggy, and producer Zach. There's one person in that group chat that consistently reports like the most outrageous things that have no chance of being true, and will like triple down if you challenge him on it.
Yeah, and you try and guess who that is. Yeah, it's.
I'll say this person had an inside source that insisted that Josh Allen was getting traded to Pittsburgh 2 years ago.
By the way, if you're enjoying the content, we're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. So if we haven't convinced you yet, we would really love for you to hit that subscribe button and send the show to a friend. I feel horrible for Bo Nix. This is terrible. As much I know that within the past 15 minutes.
No problem with Bo Nix. And like, even if I sort of did, winning a huge overtime playoff game and then immediately having your season end is just terrible.
That's very Viking-esque to have him do the post-game interview, right? Lead the drive down the field. And now I guess what a gutty drive it was if he's playing with a broken ankle. But that just sucks. I know I just went on a huge rant about how much I hate Denver because of Sean Payton, and I don't want Sean Payton and the Broncos to win. That still is true. I don't care about like whatever.
Yeah, but like if Sean Payton had a season-ending ankle injury, it'd feel a little different.
Well, I don't want to. No, I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't root for injuries.
I'd be less upset.
But I feel that's horrible for Denver. I actually used to produce a Broncos show. I don't know. I'm sure you remember that. I bet most of our listeners don't. But
there's Liv Moods.
There's Liv Moods and Orlando Franklin. Yeah, that's crushing news for Denver. Who's their backup? Is it? I actually don't even know. Let's see.
Let me check real quick. Who's the Denver Broncos backup QB? It's Jarrett Stidham.
So Jarrett Stidham is just being thrown into the AFC Championship game.
I mean,
good luck. Oh man, that's horrible.
I'm wondering, there's really no QB free agent they could sign, right? Like, I'm trying to think if there's anyone available who's better than Jarrett Stidham that's available right now.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Get Phillip Rivers in there.
Bring Phillip Rivers. bring him back. All right, so they're screwed. So effectively now, the Patriots Texans is to go to the Super Bowl because oh my gosh, can you imagine if the Texans beat New England, what they would do to Jarrett Stidham?
This is now. I mean, what would New England do to Jarrett Stidham?
Yeah, no, it's wow. This is the problem, though. Now, I was rooting for Buffalo, obviously, but I just have no interest in these AFC teams anymore. There's no compelling storyline to me. I was really into the Josh Allen one, and Josh is so fun to watch. But now I'm like, I'm watching the Seahawks and the 49ers. Chicago is very entertaining. That's the one thing they have going for them. They're the only team left that I'm like, okay, I feel like I got to watch this. And the Rams are fun. But, yeah, that's a huge hit for the playoffs. I'm sure it'll still get great ratings. That sucks, though. In a championship game, you have a backup quarterback playing. And it's already the
I
Broncos.
mean,
Like, who wants to watch the Broncos anyway? But now it's like, now you really don't want to watch them.
yeah. Well, when has a backup quarterback ever gone on an impressive run to rejuvenate a team and win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, that, again, only against us. That's only a Vikings thing that could happen. The only way the Broncos would win the Super Bowl is if they played the Vikings next weekend, because then Jarrett Stidham would throw for 500 yards and 7 touchdowns, and they'd find a way to beat, Mahomes would come back on an NFC team and they'd beat him. It would just,
If you're an Eagles fan, are you nervous at all about the fact that you're going against a backup quarterback in like a game to go to the Super Bowl?
wait, if you're the who?
If you're the
Oh, the
Patriots,
Patriots. No.
like, are you remembering the Patriots Eagles Super Bowl and thinking this might happen
No,
again?
because that was Viking curse. This is what I told you. We should have a reel coming out on this tomorrow, but I discovered that whenever I've had teams I hate, Ziggy, like the 09 Saints or the 2017 Eagles, right? The teams that beat the Vikings, I'm like, I just need them to lose. They always win the Super Bowl. Like the Saints beat Peyton Manning. The Eagles with the backup beat Tom Brady, because those were the only two teams that in my lifetime I've looked at and gone, please don't win the Super Bowl. Like, someone needs, like, they need to lose. I hate this team. I hated them the whole season. I hated them when they beat the Vikings. I hated them when they won the Super Bowl. And now that's why I think the Miami Hurricanes have a chance to beat the Indiana Hoosiers, because I've hated them all year and they keep screwing my team over. And there's just something about me rooting against a team that propels them to greatness. So, yeah, maybe the Broncos are fine since I'm rooting against Sean Payton. Maybe they'll be fine. But I was very upset about when I realized that this was a legitimate thing.
Merle is a point. Max Brosmer almost went on a Super Bowl run.
Yeah, Merle is. But Merle's forgetting something very important about that. He's forgetting.
We were mathematically eliminated,
yes.
so we can play.
Yes, that's what you're forgetting, Merle. We were only able to be great once we were eliminated. Otherwise, Brosmer would have, those interceptions would have all been returned for touchdowns. All right, so you want to hit these super chats and call it a show?
I'll say one last thing and then we'll hit the super chats.
Oh, please, yeah. Please.
Me living in Boston for a Patriots Super Bowl would be a nightmare. I do not want to have to deal with the Patriots winning a Super Bowl because the Patriots are already like sort of an obnoxious, in your face, we win so many Super Bowls thing. And I've been hearing, now that I lived in New England, at the start of the year, I was hearing it's been too long since we've won a Super Bowl. We've had it as hard as anyone. Being a Patriots fan sucks. Even my roommate is like, boy, when I was growing up, I thought of the Patriots as a team that could just never get it done. And it's like now.
What? Wait, who said that? Hey, John?
John. Yeah.
John was born in 1999.
No,
what do you mean he couldn't get it done? They were undefeated when he was 8 years old. And they couldn't get it done.
Yeah,
but then they won 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, this is what he was thinking in 2015, because he's like, they'd gone 10 years of my life without winning a Super Bowl.
Oh, cry me a river, John.
No, it's like Patriots fans simply do not understand. And if they win again while I'm here, that's just going to be a horrible experience.
I guess that the timeline didn't sync up great for John really remembering the Patriots Super Bowls in like.
But yeah, it's like, so imagine you're like, what, 13 years old. They've won 3 Super Bowls during your lifetime.
But you don't remember.
And some of the times they haven't won a Super Bowl have been things like the undefeated season, right? They've gone to the Super Bowl 5 times in your lifetime. And you're thinking, boy, we've got it as rough as anyone.
Yeah. And not only are you thinking that, you're thinking we also just can't get it done. When 5 years ago you won your 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years. All right, so John's a lunatic.
I'm not here to dunk on John. All I'm saying,
I'm here to dunk on John. That's insane. Can you imagine like the audacity of John to say that to you, a Vikings fan?
I can't do this, man. Like, I can't live through another Patriots Super Bowl.
Oh,
especially living
they could
here.
Win as
think
many
about
as
how long. No, probably, but you don't live in Boston. Think of how obnoxious it'll be to live here for weeks after the Patriots win a Super Bowl.
It could not have been that he broke his ankle on the kneel down.
That doesn't make any, but it doesn't make any sense that he broke it earlier either.
If he broke his ankle, there's just no shot here. Hold on. Let's go.
I don't think we know when he injured it yet. That's not out.
Broke his ankle. Someone's saying on the second to last play. Damn.
It couldn't have been very early because he played basically the whole game.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's terrible.
All right, on to the super chats.
Yeah, I can read them here. Historical gamer. The thing that concerns me most about LaFleur is when their season blows up in his face every year. He talks about how he doesn't think there's need to change their processes, etc. He sounds like Eberflus. I have to imagine part of the conversation with policy was something's going to change. It can't just be run it back because it's right. There has to be some sort of a.
Well, but you can say I'm going to change as much as you want, but anybody's ever dated someone that keeps saying I'm going to change when things get really bad and you threaten a breakup, how often do those changes last?
Yeah, that's a good point, Ziggy. Man, it's good to have you back. Historical Gamer also says, imagine giving a perennial 8-seed NBA coach a mega contract. They won 10 plus one time in the last 4 years. If you're not willing to fire him next, fire policy.
I mean, the Chicago Bulls did that with Billy Donovan.
Yeah, but they weren't. The Packers have been good, though. The Packers have been a very good team with LaFleur. Like, they have. Uncultured Barb, get rid of special teams coach and some others, rebuild the staff, cornerback room, and can you imagine Golden and Watson on the field at the same time next season? Yeah, that's why I think you're mostly rerunning this thing. You think your talent's good enough and LaFleur is enough of a grip on this thing, and he is a very good coach that if everyone's healthy, with a few tweaks, you could win the Super Bowl.
I do worry though. It looks increasingly likely like Jeff Hafley is going to get a head coaching job somewhere. They have got to get the replacement defensive coordinator hire right.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because if the defense takes even half a step back, I don't think this is going to be a Super Bowl team.
2 from D-Mize. We have, here we go, Flores Flores with Hafley gone. It can't happen. And hey, y'all, Malik better. What's this?
He's saying Malik's better than Caleb Williams.
If he stays NFC, Jordan, Dak, Daniels, Goff, Malik, then Caleb. In all seriousness, though, JJ wasn't 16 because Malik is miles ahead. Yeah, maybe we don't have the 16th best quarterback in the conference. Scotty B, Hafley's likely gone. Packers should give Flores assistant head coach and DC. It can't happen. He will not be a Packer. I refuse to even acknowledge it.
I refuse to acknowledge a chance that Brian Flores leaves to be a defensive coordinator somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like that just doesn't make sense to me.
Ranger Halata. Caleb can't even make an on-schedule platform throw, but he's incredible on off-schedule plays, so he's no better than the third best in the North. Look, man.
Caleb has gotten a lot better on the on-schedule throws this year.
The on-schedule things are also things that you are easier to teach than what he's really good at, which is extending plays, right? The presence in the pocket, that sixth sense sort of to escape.
The thing they needed from Caleb was to keep the magic while getting rid of most of the reckless plays.
And he's done a good job.
Very good job of that.
And then 2 here on Bo from Broken JPG. Bo Nix, broken bone and ankle, needs surgery, and Koenig Reigns. Did you guys see Bo's out for the playoffs now? Jeez, that is like just that is a very Viking thing. That was like when we lost week 2, right? Against Atlanta, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, and McCarthy's hurt. Except now magnify it by 10,000 because it's the AFC Championship game.
If I'm a Bills fan, I am so crushed.
Well,
like you lose to a team and then immediately, like not 20 minutes after your defeat, they're irrelevant.
I mean, look, Bills fans should be crushed for a bunch more reasons. But yeah, it's horrible. It's just horrible. And meanwhile, here you have the Patriots, 5 years, and now here they are with their cupcake. They had the cupcake scheduled to get here. Now they have to beat Now they have to beat the lowly Texans without Nico Collins. Although, again, that defense is. I shouldn't say lowly Texans. I know we have some Texans fans here. The
Texans are not lowly, and Nico Collins.
The offense is. The offense is low. It's a lowly offense. You have to beat the Texans defense.
Drake May gets a chance to absolutely annihilate this team. People will look at the Texans beating the Steelers 30-6. And fans won't forget this, but the general public will. They'll forget it was 7-6 going into the fourth quarter.
But that's exactly the Texans are exactly who we think they are, right? They're a team that comes out and they are going to beat the crap out of you. I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans win tomorrow. I shouldn't have said that. What I should have said before was the Patriots get the crap Texans offense and now a Broncos offense without their starting quarterback if they are to go on a Super Bowl run. But
Milton
the Texans
Williams
could
gets
win.
the feast.
Yeah, but that you still need to score. The reason I'm picking New England is because I think if they put up like 17 points, unless if the Houston defense is scoring, I don't see the Texans offense matching. That's just me. So, all right, we'll wrap it up there. Ziggy, great to have you back from Cambodia. The room looks really nice and neat here. Most of the time when people come back from vacation, it's clothes all over the place. Not you. Not you. Things look great. One more thing from D-Mize. The issue with saying that Caleb's pocket presence is elite is that instead of taking the sack, he was second in the NFL in intentional grounding. He still gave up the yards. It's a good stat on the intentional grounding. But guys, remember, what was he sacked? 68 times last season?
He did not have 68 intentional grounding penalties.
He was sacked 68 times. He reduced his interceptions. I think across the board, he was significantly better this year.
I want to see actually how many. Caleb Williams lost 54 yards to 5 intentional grounding calls this year.
Was that second in the league? 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good stat. It's a good poll, D-Mize, but I still think he's generally been very good.
You compare this to in 2024, he lost over 500 yards to sacks. This is an order of magnitude difference. Now I know, right? Whatever, but yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up here. That was fun. I actually recorded I hopped on to do a LaFleur record right before you texted. I was like, let me leave Ziggy alone. He's probably tired. And I did a reaction, and then when I walked over to look at the camera, it was like 9 minutes. I thought I was talking for 25 minutes.
Yeah, you upload the video. It's a 5-minute video. It's one of the shortest videos ever on our
And I was just like, and then Ziggy's like, hey, you want to record? It's like, yeah, let's just hop on. So
yeah,
there you go. 45 minutes later.
I'm glad you're not doing solo videos right now. That solo divisional prediction where you opened up being like, oh, the market's kind of oversaturated. Thanks for watching us, I guess, instead of all the channels that are way better than us. That was just really sad to watch.
Well, no, that was I was thanking everyone for listening because there is an oversaturation in sports media. I found it at least fascinating. I'm telling you, Ziggy, I'm sitting here on Netflix and it's like half the population has a sports podcast. It's like, oh my gosh, jeez, this is out of control.
I shouldn't say this on air, but I'm going to say it anyway. I do find it sort of puzzling that
oh no,
the podcast market is basically it's people making predictions about things that you'll find out in a few hours anyway. Right? We're sitting here and we're giving a prediction for Patriots Texans. And if you wanted, you could just wait a day and you'll find out the answer. And I'll tell you what, if you check the score after the game, it's much more reliable than checking our predictions before the game.
Great sell here. Great sell,
accurate
Ziggy.
idea of what's going to happen. But it's an interesting phenomenon though. And you know this in sports media, it's all predictions and then it's all reactions. And it's just there's a kind of emptiness in the landscape there, but people like it.
It's entertainment at the end of the day. But I think it's also what's cool about these shows is that you really do feel like you have a relationship with these people. I remember I used to listen to Michael Kay all the time, and I'd listen to him, Don LaGreca, Peter Rosenberg on ESPN Radio here. And when I would listen to him, I don't listen to a lot of sports radio or podcasts anymore just because it's too much for me, especially that we do a show too and I produce a show. But I remember when I used to listen a lot more, I was really excited for 3 o'clock every day because I just liked hearing the guys talk. It was fun. So that's what it is. You come to like the dudes doing it. So it is totally oversaturated though. We just gotta outlast everyone. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thanks again. As Ziggy was saying, thank you very much for choosing to hang out with us for about an hour here and talk a little LaFleur, talk a little Bears, Rams, Bo Nix. That is just shocking, man. I'm very happy that that's not my team. I'll just leave it at that. That is insane.
That is something that would happen to us.
It's huge. If you're a Broncos fan right now, you're nauseous. That's like when Villanova, when Justin Moore tore his Achilles against Houston in the Elite Eight. And it was like, oh, shit. How are we supposed to go in here and win this Final Four? The answer is you just don't. So they're screwed. They're already a team that skates by every single game. And now you don't have your quarterback. So I feel bad for them. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Ziggy, I'll probably talk with you after the Bears game tomorrow.
You'll probably talk with me immediately after this recording.
Yeah, okay. All right. See you guys. That's good. Yeah, let me just end this.